right now. Our cup runneth over on this Wednesday. Great to have Louis Riddick back after 3 weeks doing college football. We have tons of NFL action to get into with a huge slate this weekend, but we begin with the action in LA last night, Game 4, after they had played 2 for the price of 1 the night before. After the marathon, Shohei Ohtani had been on base 9 times. Now here he is facing Vlad Guerrero in the first inning, and who gets the best of it? Ohtani does! With a strikeout, no score after 1. But then Jeffrey, top of 3, Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. We got a man on, we got 1 out, we got Vlad Guerrero Jr. again.
That one didn't. Bada bing, dropping it out. That one got sick.
That one ain't coming back. That's Guerrero's 7th postseason home run.
Yeah, he knows.
Jays lead at 2-1. Ohtani would later refer to the pitch as unfortunate. Ohtani walked in the first inning, so he had reached base successfully 11 consecutive at-bats, and then strikes out here. He went 0 for 3 last night, 2 Ks and a walk. Dodgers still down 2-1. Ohtani pitching very well through 6, but then in the 7th, with a runner on first, Ernie Clement knocks one off the wall. Dalton Varsho will stop at 3rd, so 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and that would be the night for Ohtani. A well-deserved standing ovation as he leaves the mound. And they would turn it over to Anthony Banda, who needs to silence the threat, and he would do nothing of the kind. The next batter is Andres Jimenez. That's a base hit, scores an insurance run. It's 3-1. Ohtani's line, 6 innings, 4 runs, 6 Ks. Later in the inning, it's 4-1. Blake Trinan is trying and can't do it. 2 on, 2 out for Bo Bichette. That's a double off the wall. Ohtani can only look on in dismay as the Blue Jays, give them credit. You lose a heartbreaker in 18 like that, you bounce back, whatever it was, 17 hours later, and win it 6-2. So the World Series is all even at 2 games apiece. Dodgers are slight favorites to win Game 5 tonight and to take the series overall as they try to become the first repeat champions since the Yankees in the late 90s and 2000. Eduardo Perez will join us in our next hour live from Los Angeles with all of the insight. Meanwhile, to the NFL, it's time for Wednesday Wows. Who's going to make us go wow this week? Louis, who's got you saying wow?
It's got to be Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? I mean, look at this. I mean, 153 yards this past weekend, 12.8 average per carry.
Say it again.
You see some of the runs, 12.8 average per carry, multiple plus 10-yard runs. He's leading the league right now in plus 10-yard runs, double-digit touchdowns. JT is on a historic pace right now. Look, he is on an MVP caliber pace.
Yes.
And it couldn't happen to a better person than Jonathan Taylor.
You can't spell Jonathan Taylor without MVP. Not literally, but figuratively. All right, Jeff, who's making you say wow this week?
Oh, Miles. Oh, yeah. 5 sacks. Listen, the Patriots actually had a decent plan. It's just like what Mike Tyson said. Everybody's got a plan to get punched in the mouth. They got punched in the mouth. This dude had 5 sacks, but he had even better rushes that he didn't get home on. He is on an absolute tear right now. Defensive Player of the Year, there is no doubt in my mind. This kid is making it happen.
In a related story, they got blown out in the game. Give me your Wednesday wow.
I think Bo Nix is another weapon. Louis Riddick, you were high on this guy in the draft. How about Pat Bryant, the rookie, getting his first touchdown on a dime from Bo Nix? Both Bryant and R.J. Harvey were all over the field. 2 rookies for the Broncos. Here they come. All this talk about how Drake May's making this leap in year 2. Is Bo Nix on the verge to join him in that conversation? Broncos, big wins, back-to-back weeks against the NFC East.
They have an interesting game this weekend. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Kmart, to you, who made you go wow this week?
I got a different running back, James Cook. Buffalo single-handedly beat the Carolina Panthers by himself. 216 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 64-yarder and a 21-yarder. The Bills are 10-1 when James Cook rushes for 100 or more yards. I don't know why they would go one single game without feeding that man, because he is sick.
Looky, here comes Cookie, as our friend Rex would say. So Cookie and the Bills have a tough test ahead on Sunday. This is the sort of annual heavyweight matchup between Josh Allen and the Bills and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And Chris Mad Dog Russo yesterday says he believes the stakes are much higher on one side.
Buffalo needs to win this game. Forget the division. They need psychologically. They lost to Kansas City last year at Arrowhead. They need to go out there and beat the Chiefs to feel good about themselves, to give them the idea that they are a major threat to win the conference.
I mean, they got to do. I don't understand why they don't ever do. They can't. We need Josh Allen to step up in this situation. He never goes into Kansas City and beats them. Dominique, do Josh Allen and the Bills need this game for psychological reasons?
I mean, I think it's less so about their idea of knowing that they can beat the Chiefs, but this season was supposed to be set up for the Bills.
Right, yeah.
Preseason, we talked about how easy their schedule was, how they would dominate everyone, and they've been looking kind of uncertain. The one thing they have that I feel sure about, that offensive line, man. That offensive line is playing well, which is allowing Cook to have big games, but the defense, man, the defense is so scary. So I do think this is going to be a big test for their defense against this new-look Chiefs offense.
You're obviously kissing up to Jeff Saturday with your offensive line conversation, but Jeff, we had a real good conversation this morning before we came on about the similarities between this matchup, the Chiefs and the Bills, and Allen and Mahomes, and something that you lived in, which was your team with Peyton and the Colts against Brady and the Patriots, and how long it took you guys to finally get over that mountain, and the similarities. And so what does a game like this mean?
It's enormous. And then when you think about how important for us, it was important because home field advantage was probably going to rely on this game, right? Whoever won this, we're going to go there. We're going outdoors for us there and indoors at home if we win that. But it was even more than just where we were going to play, where the 1 seed was going to be. It was about gleaning as much information as you could, because to your point, they kept beating us, right? They put us out in the divisional round. They put us out in the AFC Championship game, right? Like these are good teams. No difference than what's happening with the Bills and the Chiefs. And at some point, you got to take care of business, right? And we finally got that done, beating them in the AFC Championship game. But it's games like this where you figure out, okay, how do they beat us, and what is our response? Klecko with the tud. I got a little tud.
Look at that. You're looking a little thick in that picture.
You see my man Will kick his back. I see it too. But as we talk about this, we realize, and I think this is where I see the greatest similarity. How we ended up taking the Patriots down was ultimately running the football and being physical with them, right? Same for what the Bills need to do with the Chiefs. Because not only are you using that offensive line to push them around, but you're keeping Mahomes and an explosive offense off the field. You're not going to ever stop. We were never going to stop Tom Brady, right? Like nobody did. You understand that. So what is your philosophy? I think that's the most important part of this game for the Bills, is figuring out what can we take to the next game when we play them, when it really counts.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Look, lines of scrimmage, right? I mean, look, that's what Buffalo's going to do. They have the best offensive line in all in football. I can assure you this. Brandon Beane, the general manager, every single thing that they have done since Patrick Mahomes came onto the set, as far as being with the Chiefs in the AFC, is designed to try and beat Kansas City.
Yes.
And it usually starts with pass rush, because they know that that's what they need the most of. That's why they acquired Von Miller. That's why they went out and got Joey Bosa. Every single guy that they bring onto this roster on the defensive side is, how can we neutralize number 15? I think them losing this game in Buffalo this year to this football team, meaning the Chiefs, given how they started the year, although they are on the come up right now, I think it'd be a devastating blow to them, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Because look, we know that the postseason is what matters with Buffalo, but every battle against Kansas City is very telling. It's a measuring stick game every single time. Every time.
I just have a question. We're talking about psyche. Josh Allen is 4-1 against Mahomes in the regular season.
Right.
Except he's 0-4. His team is 0-4 in the playoffs. Beating him in the regular season has nothing to do with the playoffs. So I don't understand how the inverse is devastating. If they lose this game, it means, what are they going to do?
Well, it's an interesting point.
I think it's this. Look, even though we know that you still have to play the regular season, right? Right. And see, right now, I think if you lose and how you lose is very important. So, for instance, when they went down to Atlanta and Atlanta ran through them defensively, just a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Football, that was telling to me.
Yeah.
Because even though now they have bounced back, that's still in their mind right now. Is that a problem for us? Is this run defense going to be an Achilles heel for us come November and December? Because for every team, it usually is. And Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier went off in that football game. So don't think that they haven't forgotten that.
Yeah.
Because they haven't forgotten it. It is something they're going to have to address. Every win matters.
Let's not forget about this, even outside of these two teams. But the Chiefs if the Chiefs lose this game, they got 4 losses. Right. They've lost to the Chargers. And the Bills the same way. They've already lost to the Patriots. There's a lot going on in this game outside of just these two teams. They got to think about.
I look at Allen. Obviously, it's a regular season game, and we know the playoff game is going to be more significant. But this was supposed to be his year. And when you talk about knocking on the door, he got the MVP last year. They start off 3-0. The Chiefs start off 0-2. It's like this. that loss against Atlanta was really eye-opening. So was the loss against the Patriots because that was at home.
Yeah.
And now you've got this pesky little brother, and I hate to call any Patriots fans a little, but here they are, and they're getting all this heat and all this love, and they look like a real viable contender in the AFC East. It's almost like we have to win because of the Chiefs, but you also have to keep them at bay also. It's a big game for Buffalo.
And there are question marks around this Bills team right now, and I think that's what matters more than anything. Of course, if you beat the Chiefs, a lot of those losses earlier in the season feel less important.
Right.
You're like, oh no, we are good enough. The Chiefs are always going to be a measuring stick because they go to the championship game, it feels like every year in the AFC. If they beat the Chiefs, I know it doesn't change their record, but it makes that Atlanta loss feel a little less consequential.
Final thing, just because it came up in the meeting this morning and I liked it, Kimberly had the Bills and Panthers this past week, and Buffalo won that game coming off their bye, won that game comfortably, looked good, have everything set up for the Chiefs. But then after the game, there was a little bit of a skirmish, and you were right in the middle of it.
Yeah, man, I almost had to throw bows in there too. between Deion Dawkins and Ashawn Robinson. They're John. I was right there. There I go, my little blazer. Because I'm waiting to talk to Deion post game on the field, and they just get into war words. And afterwards, I said to Deion, I'm like, what happened? He goes, he looked at the scoreboard. He said, 40-9. I don't know, 40-9. But obviously, emotions were tough. But I also asked Deion in the aftermath of all this about their upcoming game against the Chiefs. And he was like, honestly, we want to savor this win for 24 hours. We haven't even thought about the Chiefs. But this is an important game, I understand. But at the same time, the Bills, they got a lot of things to figure out, and I don't know if just losing to the Chiefs now signals their season is done.
My man Robinson getting held by a receiver. You don't really want that action, boss. You don't really want that action. And you get held back by a little dude.
No, man. He popped the helmet off.
Yeah. Don't ever take the helmet.
Leave that on. You got it in advantage.
Yeah, 100%. Take every advantage
I
you got.
admire Kmart for standing that close to it. That's one of those moments I'm like, where's the media relations director here? Someone, I need some security. All right,
Take your helmet off.
Coming up, let the wheeling and dealing